Can you say some things about creating positive relationships, since I'm struggling with my major relationship right now?
Here is the most important thing to understand about relationship. First, let us say that you are first and foremost creator. In other words, the balance of thought that you hold, and we will talk at length about that before we leave today. The balance of thought that you hold is what is resulting in your life experience. As two come together, the balance of thought that you hold is what equals your relationship. Relationships are almost always better in the beginning because both of you are looking for what you want to see. And by law of attraction, you are extracting that sort of thing from one another. But in time, as you see something you don't want to see, and you focus upon that, then by law of attraction, you start attracting more of what you do not want to see. And so the value, the greatest process for the creating of what you would call the perfect relationship that you seek is to make a decision to look for what you are wanting to see. You see, this is where the power of influence comes in. Have you ever been around someone who was really, really sad? Something very important to them they were living, and they were just oozing sadness. And did you not find it difficult not to participate with them in their sadness? In other words, their sadness was so powerful, the way they were utilizing non-physical energy was so pure that you got swept right into it. And so, if you have not set forth any intent of your own, then very often you can be swept right up with the momentum that another is feeling. And that's what happens in relationships. Most of you spend your days not together. One is off here thinking on thoughts, attracting experiences. The other is off there. And then the two come together, and whichever one of you has had the most powerful experience, the other one usually gets swept right into it. And usually, because of the intensity of negative emotion that abounds, usually it is a rather negative path. It takes someone really wanting to feel good and really understanding the process of how to feel good that can turn it around. If you can envision this little girl, she is 2 or 3 years old, and she sees something she wants. Oh, she is so excited about it as she looks at it. She's taking the non-physical energy and she's setting it right toward that, you see. And she has no reason to believe that she won't have it. She's never had any experience that makes her doubt it. And so she's not splitting any of the energy off, going in a contradicting fashion. She is taking it all right toward what she is wanting. And she says to you, oh, I would really like to have that. Can you not feel yourself moving heaven and earth to help her have it? But take this same little one. She sees something she wants, but she doesn't think she's going to get it for whatever reason. And now she's whining and crying and throwing a little fit, stomping her feet. Now how do you feel? You want to help her get it, or you want to send her to a room? Our point is that the way you feel, as you think, you feel. As you feel, you ooze or radiate. And as you ooze or radiate, you attract right out of the other more of the same, you see. And so very often what you get from the other is exactly what you're feeling. No matter what words you're stating, the universe does not understand your language. The universe is hearing the universal language, and the way you speak that is by the way you feel, you see. And so when you feel angry or rotten or disappointed, the other cannot help but know it, because you're reaching right out and bringing it in. And so our encouragement would be to make lists of things you like about the other, to focus so strongly about all of the glorious things about this one that you like, that even in advance, let us say that you are not going to see this one until 8 o'clock tonight. And at 8 o'clock in the morning you get up, and on your list of how you want to feel and what you're wanting to have, you have identified this relationship. You're wanting to have a relationship of respect, one where each of you are having a good time, where you are allowing one another your freedom and your growth, but while you are coming together as co-creator on some subjects. You see, that is what goes wrong with most relationships. You tread all over the toes of freedom because you forget that you are first individual creator and sometimes co-creator. And so if you could allow the other to be while on the subjects of your co-creating, you could give your emphasis, then the other would not feel that they are not free. A young woman said to us, Abraham, what is wrong with me? My mate, who I really love, asks things of me, and I don't want to do them. And we said, why do you not want to do them? And she said, because it takes away my feeling of freedom. And we said, so then what do you do? And she said, so I do them begrudgingly. And then I think of something for him to do so that we can get even. all of the time feeling rotten, nobody having a good time in it, and all of that action being absolutely counterproductive to what they are really wanting, you see. And so he said, what do you think is missing? She said, my freedom. We said, your freedom is never missing. You may perceive for a moment that you're not free, but if you will stop and acknowledge that you are absolutely free under any and all conditions, why? Because it is what you think that is creating your experience, not what you're doing for another. How much freer can you be, we said. And she said, you're right. So all of that feeling, all of that resisting has nothing to do with whether I'm really free or not, for I am absolutely free. You're getting the point?